and their mid is somebody melee. Like count 10, right?
Oh my god, bro. Oh my god! Jungling sucks. Not in terms of it being boring, but I'm talking about how everyone else seems better at it than you. Well, you're in luck, because I'm Noviod, the coolest and smartest. Unless I live this. I got stunned out in midair. Literally how? Jungler. By the way, these tips are in no particular order. I am just going off the first that come to my mind. With that said, let's get started. Sentry, or sweeper, as most people call it, is a key jungling tool in Predecessor. Sentry is a tool that reveals nearby wards in an area around you for 12 seconds. Now, the reason this is essential in the jungle is because you can check for wards on objectives, such as Fangtooth, or Prime, or Shaper and Seedling. But that's not all it's good for. Sentry is also good for just ward clearing in general, whether it be checking the fog wall for wards, making sure an objective isn't warded. It's a really useful tool to help you decide if you can gank, take an objective, and more. The best thing about Sentry though is that it is a completely free item. All it does is switch out wards. What I suggest doing is at the start of the match, go ward the side of the jungle you'll be clearing second, then get Sentry before you leave base again. This strategy is good as it will let you know if the enemy jungler is trying to invade. And speaking on the subject of wards, let's move on to the next tip, reminding your team to ward. This tip seems so obvious, but I guess if it was, I wouldn't have to say it. Please, for the love of God, remind your team to ward. Everyone forgets sometimes, and it could get you
Can't even like kill.
everything that I have, praise the Lord, or your teammate killed. So the easiest way to prevent this is to just use the pings to remind your teammate ward their lane. Well, that was a quick tip, but I'm about to go into heavy detail for the next one, which is learning how to invade and win. Invading is, in my opinion, the most underrated thing in jungle. A jungler that knows how to invade can ruin your game. Since I have a lot of experience with invading, I'll show you how to invade and win. But first, what is invading? Well, it's exactly like it sounds. You are invading the enemy jungler camps so you can get ahead and they can get behind. Invading can also lead to really good ganks since most people don't expect you to come from their jungle. Now keep this in mind, it is harder to invade camps with some characters than others. For example, if you're playing a character with bad early game clear such as Richter, you might take so long to clear the camps, the enemy jungler would get there before you finish. The best time to invade is shortly after clearing your second camp of the game, like blue to 3 camp to enemy camp. But since you only start blue buff on like 4 junglers, the best route is red, your 2 camp, to the enemy's 3 camp. The great part about this route is that it gives you a free gank on dual lane and you hit level 3 after clearing the camp. But make sure that the camp isn't warded with sentry, because you never know. Invading late game is also a great tool because certain characters will excel in clearing quickly, such as Boris. When you invade late game, everyone will have a few items stacked up, so you have to choose wisely on when to invade. But be careful, because if you do run into the enemy jungler, you won't always win the fight. And honestly, that's all there is. I can't really explain any more about invading because most of the knowledge comes from knowing jungle matchups and clear time for characters, which is only acquired by playing the game. So get in there and start invading. Don't die for it though, because then the only one behind will be you. Now, if you're not new, this tip doesn't apply to you, to be honest. But if you are new, I highly recommend you turn off team chat. Predecessor's community is pretty trash for the most part, and most people will just flame you instead of trying to help. Turning off chat also makes it easier to focus, makes it easier to not give in to what your teammates are saying, and makes it way easier to not fall for rage bait. Oh, we're quiet now, huh? Oh, we're quiet now! Oh, we're so quiet! But I'm not saying the whole community is toxic, just most of it. A lot of people hop in the game expecting you, especially since you're the jungler, to play like a top 500. And even if you do really good, guess what? You're still the jungler, and you'll still get blamed for a lot of things that aren't your fault. They can definitely make you go insane. Turn off team chat while starting out. And if you want to turn it back on when you're confident enough, go for it. Just don't fall for the rage bait. Fun fact about ganking enemies. You don't always need to kill them to make the gank worthwhile. Sometimes a flash, or even an ultimate, is all you need. For example, if Fangtooth is about to be up, and the enemy mid laner is a gadget, you can try to gank to either burn her ult or her flash, so that if you get the ult, pulling Fangtooth would be so much easier. And if you get her flash, whenever your teammates can space her out so she can't go into ult. Don't force the gank though, which leads to another tip. You don't need to gank just because the opponent is pushed up. I know, sounds crazy, right? Telling you not to gank a pushed up opponent? Well, let me explain why. If you are playing a squishy jungler, like Kalari, and the opponent mid laner is someone like Bellic or a gadget, chances are they'll probably get away while getting your flash in the process. Or an even better example, if your duo lane is extremely low, but the enemy duo has full HP, if you go in, it will essentially be a 1v2 that's not in your favor, because your duo lane can't help you, and you will likely die trying to get a kill. So sometimes the gank isn't always worth it. So what can you do? Well, you can pull Seedling, or invade, or maybe even pull an objective, which perfectly transitions into tip number 7, knowing when to trade objectives. Trading objectives is something that is overlooked, at least in my professional opinion it is. Trading objectives is a great way for you to get ahead or catch up. But how do you know when to trade objectives? Well, let's say your duo lane dies, so the enemy jungler and duo start to pull Fangtooth. Now, unless you're the greatest, it'll be pretty hard to steal that Fangtooth. But what you can do is go take Prime, so they don't get Fangtooth completely for free. And yes, while it is still a trade that is not in your favor, it is better than nothing. Another way to look at trading objectives is, if you see the enemy jungler in solo lane, and you are near Fang Pit, you might be able to pull Fangtooth because the jungler is nowhere near. Just be careful, because since objectives are a huge part of Predecessor, they will most likely be warded. This might sound crazy, but just because you are the jungler does not mean you need to have a big ego. Jungling is not about the KDA, even though it obviously plays a factor. It's about the objectives, making sure that enemy lanes are in fear of being ganked, and keeping the other jungler in check. You do not need to talk about the KDA every time someone blames you, because it could be true. You could be 5-0, but your team has 0 objectives, while the enemy team has 3. Stop having an ego, and do what Kendrick Lamar says. Be humble. If you didn't listen to the last tip, just skip this one, because you will definitely not listen. Waiting. Okay. It is okay to run away from a fight. As a jungler, you have a bigger weight on your shoulders, and half of that is because if you die, the enemy team could get a free objective, or worse. Sometimes, a fight could be going good, but an ult or a good flash from the enemy team can completely tip the scales. All you have to do is back up. Do not die for a kill, especially one that is not worth it. Now, if the kill gives you a 1k gold bounty, then of course, go for it. But if the person you are trying to kill is like 0-3, there's really no point. And what happens if you get counter-ganked and your teammate gets caught? Well, if you are not confident you can run the 1v2, I suggest leaving. It's better to lose 1 life than 2. Now, on to the last tip, which honestly, I shouldn't even have to say. Please don't forget, farm your camps. I've played with so many junglers that are so hyper-focused on ganks, they forget that they have camps to clear. Especially mid-game, where you have 2 or 3 items, most junglers will just forget that camps are even a thing. Now obviously, I'm not saying to perma-farm, I'm just saying, you need to find the perfect balance between farming, ganking, and pulling objectives. And honestly, it also depends on the jungle you're playing. And that's it for my tips and tricks on how to jungle. Kinda. Like I said before, you will get good naturally at jungler if you play the role enough. But these tips should definitely help you progress a little faster. And don't forget, have fun. It is a game after all. I just hope your teammates realize that too.